Talking to CL Brown, Louisville Courier, and CL, your job, you're a columnist, right? Is that part of your?
I am a columnist.
Oh, so the Buffaloes play tonight against North Dakota State, and it leads me to this conversation. I want to get you to chime in on this. I know everybody's been following Coach Prime and how he's handled Keeler or Killer or whatever, the columnist for Denver Post, where he banded him from asking questions. He could be. I'm not sure he could even be in the media room, but he can come and watch the games. From your perspective, what's your take on that?
It's a horrible move. I hate it. I think that first and foremost, the University, Colorado, should not allow this to happen. They should. You don't have to be eloquent. You don't have to be charismatic as the head coach. He doesn't have to give him full Deion personality. But if you're credentialing a legitimate person of the media, then you should answer questions. I mean, to me, it's that simple. But if you look, it's kind of a pattern with Deion. He's always had problems with media,
yeah, that's true.
and he's always. I don't know if it's a control thing or what, but, going back to when he threw water on Tim McCarver.
I remember that. Braves. Yep.
I mean, I didn't like Tim McCarver either, so I kind of laughed at the time. But everybody isn't going to like you. Everybody isn't going to write, these flowing, you're the greatest, this program can be successful kind of columns and stories. So he's been in this game long enough to know that, and he should just keep it moving. This is a bad look for him. It makes him look petty. I think that, to me, ultimately, if there's a columnist like this and I haven't read any of the columns in question, so I don't know if the guy is being fair or not. But I think two things should happen. I think, first and foremost, he should have had some kind of private meeting with the columnist, and they should have hashed out an understanding. And an understanding still doesn't mean that he's going to take it easy on the program or on Deion. But I think when you sit down one-on-one with somebody, that changes tone, that changes understanding. That just kind of changes the dynamic of a relationship. And I'm not sure they've had that kind of a meeting. But I also think that the readers ultimately decide whether the columnist is good or not. Because if he's writing stuff that's sensational, if he's taking it too far, if he's not being fair to Deion or the program, they're not going to read. And if he's not getting his, the appropriate clicks or whatever, I'm not sure whatever kind of standard they have at the Denver Post, but I'm sure his editor would come to him like, hey, let's maybe not go with this idea. Let's go in a different direction if he's not getting the readership that, he should be getting. And that would come if people get tired of your act, if he's somebody who's not being fair. But if he is being fair, if he's just merely holding the program accountable, then that's on Deion. I mean, he's in the big time, He's not going to be covered with kid gloves. And you can even go back to last year, that first game when they beat TCU.
TCU, yes.
And he's asking a reporter, are you a believer?
Right.
No, I ain't no believer. I'm a reporter. So, you make people believers in the program by however you do it, but I'm going to report what there is to report. So they were coming off a 1-10 year when he took over. Right. So no, nobody's going to just be a believer.
Right.
So I just think he's approaching it wrong, and it's really gonna look worse if he doesn't get the program turned around. Right. And it really just kind of makes him look insecure.
Well, if Deion leaves, they'll be back to 0-11, so he'll get what he wants.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Oh wow.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But
absolutely, he'll get what he wants.
Go about it.
He'll be back. He'll be back to 0-11. So then he can talk about how bad the administration is, which apparently that's most of the heartburn. That's some of the heartburn that he's had. He's been real critical on the administration and how things have been done, and not just Deion.
Okay, Matt. let me ask this: when does Deion ever say I was wrong? When does Deion ever say I could have done this better? You know what I mean? I've never heard him say that. I didn't hear him say that at all last year.
Okay.
You know, when they gave up, weren't they? What was that game? The USC game?
When
they were up big and let USC come back. Like, I mean,
you know,
I did hear him on one or two of those say we could. He didn't say I. He said we could coach better.
But CL, that's a good point because one of my pet peeves I had, and I was in the room and I heard it. And I didn't hear it with my own ears. Was fact that when North Carolina Central beat him in the Celebration Bowl in Jackson State, he didn't even get no kudos. He didn't even recognize North Carolina Central even being on that field. And I thought, and Coach Trey Oliver, and I thought that was disrespectful. And I said it then, I say it now. So to your point, I don't remember when he's getting just kind of following the sword and saying, I didn't do a good job, or I was wrong. I never heard that before.
But when did that become the requirement?
No, we just
in this case, he wasn't wrong.
Accountability.
He did. He said on multiple occasions we got to coach better.
I ain't hear that.
Okay, but you as a head of a program.
I mean, he said.
That's an I and we. Right?
I mean, well, he hold on.
And no we either. Which we and no we and team, none of that. We all that.
But he's a part of the coaching staff. You know what I mean? He's a part of the team. You know, they all in it together. You know what I mean? So look, it's really convenient. It's really convenient for people to say people should go. I got to play better. It's got to be. That's on me. I got to play better. Okay, that's cool, right? Or you can say we got to play better. Mm-hmm. I mean, but everybody wants somebody to come out and say it's everybody's fault except mine. So I want you to say it was your fault. That's what people want to hear.
What you saying, CEO?
No, but see, K-Mac, you're going overboard now. It's not even that. I'm just bringing up the point that it's always somebody else's fault with Deion. It's always somebody else's fault. And I'm not. Sometimes there are other people at fault for a reason why the program isn't coming together, maybe like he wants it to or whatever. But ultimately, it's your program now. It's up to you to bring what players in you bring.
That's right.
Like, I could poke holes in his strategy for probably using the transfer portal too much and not having enough, high school guys that he's trying to develop and bring up. Like, you can make those kind of arguments. And I haven't read Keeler's columns, but I think some of that is what he has done. And when you start poking holes in the house somebody's doing something and criticizing, I don't like it.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Game.
Yeah, but that's not new to him.
I was going to say, I think it's the last column that he wrote where he called him.
He
said it was a circus.
He called him a
false prophet. He said that he was the Bruce King, the Bruce Lee of BS.
See, that's different.
Yeah. We up against it. But I tell you one thing, he better be ready tonight because North Dakota State. They can play, so they'll be interesting. CL, thanks so much, man. We got to bounce, man.
All right.
We'll see how that. Yeah, good one, boy. Yeah, that was good. CL Reese came back past us.
Listen.